So we're at the Estonian Open Air Museum, which is outside of Tallinn in Estonia. And there's an exhibit here which is showing a typical collective farm apartment building from the Soviet period. And what's fascinating about this particular exhibit is the individual apartments inside are designed to show the way of life at 4 different periods of time in the Soviet and post-Soviet times, and I find this an extremely fascinating exhibit. The actual building was built in the 1960s, I believe, and we're going to go in and see the individual 4 apartments representing a series of decades. Each apartment has a story of the person, or a typical type of person who would have lived here at that time. So I'll go up the stairs of an apartment building which to me looks very similar to many modern European apartment buildings from this era. And the first apartment is meant to be the way of life in 1967. Come in here. We have a bathroom, a little cupboard, and I like the details of the food items and all of the artifacts and objects, attempting to be period realistic. Here's a sitting room of a 1968 apartment building on a collective farm in Estonia. Complete with its wallpaper. And the little testimonial tells of a family who moved in here and worked on the collective farm, making milk. The clothing is period authentic. They have a wood-burning ceramic oven. Move into a bedroom. I'm not familiar with the era, but it seems that everything in here is the way it was in the Soviet Union in 1968, specifically in Estonia. Here's this ceramic oven. I'll move a little quicker now into the kitchen, wood-burning stove and oven, food items, sink, but there's no sewage, no drainage. And the woman on the video testimonial talks about that. There's no drainage. They have running water, but no drainage. So they have to collect the wastewater from the sink and take it somewhere. Clothes. Absolutely fascinating. An accordion. Light bulbs just hanging loose from the ceiling. And now we're going to go to the very next apartment over, which is the same floor plan, the same design, but alleged to be the lifestyle in 1978. Things get a little bit better. They now have drainage, full plumbing. You can see the actual items of daily life are getting a little bit more modern, a little bit more middle class, if I can put it that way. 1970s Soviet, Estonian apartment building, still on a collective farm. So that means the workers here are working on a farm. I believe in the video it is said that the man is a truck driver or something, the mechanic. They have several kids. This is starting to not look that terribly unlike what I would have had in the 1970s growing up in America. Beatles posters, I didn't have that, but record player, some games. The oven is in the wood-burning oven is in the center of the house, so every room can be warmed. And here is the 1970s living room, complete with a big radio. Another wood-burning heater. And this is very not unlike what I had at this period growing up in the 1970s. can see there's more stuff, people. Whoever lived here, of course this is all recreated, but whoever lived here had more, simply had more stuff than the people in 1968. And now we're going to go downstairs and we're going to move ahead to an apartment in the post-Soviet era, 1993, just after the fall of the Soviet Union. And in this apartment it tells a story of somebody who, after the fall of the Soviet Union, did not have such a good time and suffered from the end of the collective farms. But now you can see much more stuff, more clutter, more shoes and clothes, cigarette butts. Once again, the same floor plan. At 1993, starting to see things like Coca-Cola cans and Australian beer cans. And the accoutrements of daily life have become more numerous. There's a Soviet boombox. The accoutrements of daily life have become more numerous, but this person's life is not any better, according to the video testimonial. In fact, it's worse. He says he's unemployed, just drinks all day long. But what's fascinating about the way they've done this is the floor plans are identical, so it shows how an actual apartment in this place and at this time would have gone through a transition over the decades. Kitchen covered with cigarette butts and beer bottles. Bear beer, I wonder what that would have been like. We have continuing the video, we have an electric fridge. Now we have heavy metal posters on the wall instead of the Beatles. Similar stuff that I could have imagined in the 80s, actually. Okay, let's quickly go upstairs and look what was in the refrigerators in the older apartments. So back to 1967. Well, there was no refrigerator at all. Let's go over to the 1970, 78 and see what they had in the fridge. Sorry, I forgot to do that. It is an electric refrigerator. Some sausages and some milk. We just saw what was in the fridge in 1993, and now we're going to go to the final apartment, which is said to be in 2019, so a totally modern apartment. Same floor plan. Hi again.
Hi.
Completely modern apartment, not unlike our apartment. Same floor plan. And now finally let's go down to the cellar. The storage area of the people's flats, including canned goods, badminton rackets, butter churn, baby carriages, first aid kit, games room, a photo of the same place, this actual building, at the time. So there you have it. A fascinating exhibition at the Estonian Open Air Museum of an actual Soviet-era collective farm apartment building, but with the individual units recreated to show what the way of life was in the 1960s, in the 1970s, in the Soviet era, in the 1990s, and in 2019 in the post-Soviet era. Fascinating and very well done.